And we're back with Mark Bryant from the Bryant Law Center. As referenced before, if you have been affected by the Depo Purveyor, or you think you have, give his office a call. And we're going to move on now to some criminal questions. Ready to field these?
Robin, I was born ready. Yeah, I'm ready for this.
I have no doubt about
Thanks.
that. All right, so our next caller says, I have previously been convicted of a DUI. What penalties might I face if I refuse a breathalyzer or a field sobriety test if I'm pulled over in the future?
Boy, I'll tell you, I feel sorry for you if that's what happens to you, because if you've been convicted of a DUI within the last 10 years and you get pulled over and you refuse to take a breathalyzer test, you might as well just get ready, because you're on your way to the jail. And not only that, they will give you a pretrial suspension of your driver's license, and it can also be used as an aggravator to increase the penalty. In other words, for how long you end up having to stay in jail. So if it, like you said, you've got a prior conviction. If you didn't have a prior conviction, you might have to spend 3 or 4 days in jail for a DUI, or you might not have to spend anything, depending on what kind of other record you might have. But if you've got a record within the last 10 years and you get picked up and you don't take your test, you got some serious problems and you're going to go to jail for a while.
So they need to have your number ready.
Not mine. Yeah, you got to call the office. I don't do that anymore. I used to do it. I used to be the Commonwealth attorney in Paducah for 17 years, and I did that a lot. But now I've got lawyers down there at the office that handle it, so just call down there and ask for Tyler.
Gotcha. All right. So our next caller wants to know, I violated my parole by failing to pay restitution due to some unforeseen medical costs. What are my options?
Okay, you said you violated your parole. Parole means that you've been institutionalized and the institution has let you go. In other words, state prison, and they have released you. That is totally different than being on probation, which is court supervision. So if, for example, it was in Paducah and it was either Judge Kitchen or Judge Rourke, and you couldn't pay your fine, you would ask your lawyer to ask the judge to give you a probation revocation hearing, and you would explain to the judge then that you had these serious medical problems and you were having to pay them off, and the judge then would make a decision as to whether to send you to jail or send you to prison since you've been probated. But if it's a parole revocation, if it's a parole that you're on, in other words, the state has released you from prison, then if that's the case, you can ask for a parole revocation hearing, and you can explain your mitigating circumstances and why you weren't able to pay your medical bills. And then the parole board will make a decision as to whether they're going to make you go back to prison or not. So that's the distinction right there.
Okay, so it's still always just better to call the office and get the correct attorney and get the information from them for your situation.
Sure, just explain it to them and they'll tell you exactly what to do. And this is done every day. And if you've got a really good excuse and you're really serious about it, then they may not revoke you. So that's the good news.
Well, thank you for being with us today, Mark.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
We enjoy it always.
All right.
If you would like to review this segment of Legal Line, log on to WPSDLocal6.com/Legal Line.